Welcome to another DorkLair collecting video. Today I got a very special event. I'm going to open up this mystery box that was sent to me by Four Horsmen Studio. As you can see, it's still sealed. I have done nothing to it except scratch my address off so that the location of the DorkLair can remain hidden. And yeah, so a little story behind this. They sent this to me, said do an unboxing and then do a review. And what we'll do is we'll publish it the day of the release of the figure. So this is going to be a Figura Obscura. It's going to be for sale 2 times on October 1st, I believe. So you're going to have like a morning and an evening drop. So you're going to want to grab those. But when this video goes up, you should still be able to get in on that evening drop. If you're watching this video on the 1st, I'll put the information in the description below. But yeah, so it's September 21st for me, but it's October 1st for you. And I have no clue what this is. And I'm going to find out right now. And then after I open it all up, I'll kind of do a reset and then I'll get it on the table and we'll do like a full-on review. I'll do some swaps if possible. This is a big box. Like, this thing's huge. Obviously, again, you all know what it is, but I don't. If you want to compare it to, you know, like the first one, the Krampus, it's a lot bigger. So I don't know if like it's just a lot of packaging in there. Is this a troll scale figure? Is this, maybe it's an ogre scale figure? Is there a horse in the box? I have no clue right now what this big box contains. So let's get to it. Let me just kind of move the camera down a little bit. All right. Whew. I'm like a little nervous like to find out what the heck this thing is. So, all right, I got my knife. We're all recording. Okay, here we go. Let's crack this thing open. And yeah, I am super pumped. And I feel honored, actually, that Four Horsemen thought to send me this and have me do the unboxing. Like, it is very much an honor. Okay, let's see here. Okay, that is a big box. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right, let me turn it this way so that you all can see. I can't see the figure yet. All I can see is the outer box and holy shit. The Headless Horseman. Are you kidding me? Holy cow, happy Halloween indeed. The Headless Horseman. Oh my God. I thought at one point they might be doing this. And like I am so thrilled right now. Let's see. Let me open this thing up. Okay, so I think it has the same kind of magnetic wraparound as this right here. It's got one of these, I believe. So let me tear into this thing here. Oh my Lord. You kidding me? The Headless Horseman? That means there's a horse in this box. All right, yeah, so it's got so here's the box right here. So I won't have to do the packaging segment on the video. So on the side here, okay, let me read what's on the side. Headless Horseman, there are places where the walls between this world and the next grow thin, allowing spirits from beyond to roam unbidden between the two worlds. One such place is a small village on the east bank of the Hudson River in New York, originally named North Tarrytown. This haunted glen is more commonly known as Sleepy Hollow. Rumored to have been bewitched long ago, stories of strange happenings and distant voices on the air have long been told in Sleepy Hollow. The most dominant spirit that haunt this enchanted region is that of a headless, cloaked rider atop a great black steed, the Headless Horseman. Said to be the restless ghost of a Hessian trooper who lost his head to a cannonball during some long-forgotten battle of the Revolutionary War, the Headless Horseman rides forth on the blackest of nights, desperately searching for his missing head. Any who are unfortunate enough to meet the galloping Hessian on his ride are never to be seen again, the only proof of their encounter with the dread apparition being the shattered remains of the jack-o'-lantern he often uses in place of his lost head. So there's the bio. Okay. All right, here we go. You already know what it is, so I'm going to open it towards me. Oh my God, look at that pumpkin. Look at that horse. Holy cow. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Look at this. 2 heads, 2 pumpkin heads. Oh, I'm in love. Look at that horse. So this horse has the, it has like the furrier lower legs and stuff. It's got red eyes. If you can see the red eyes, but wow. Unbelievable. All right. I mean, that's the opening. And then here's, I'm assuming, let me see. Yeah, this is Nate Barch right here, I'm pretty sure. So we've got the inside of the flap right there, Sleepy Hollow. And then on this side, and this is a magnet that goes here on the front. So that unwraps this way. And then you've got the Headless Horseman there. And you can totally like set this up as like a little diorama backdrop type thing, if you so please. And then here we go. More Nate Barch art on the back. Let me just make sure. Yep, Nate Barch. All right, look at that. Incredible. And I apologize. I wanted to do this all in one take, so this isn't going to be the smoothest, most well edited video with all my lights reflecting and stuff. But yeah, there we have it. You kidding me? The Headless Horseman? Unbelievable. All right, thanks for watching. We'll get into this review. And here's the Headless Horseman in all its glory out of the packaging. So a couple bits of information. The release is October 1st, 2022, today, if you're watching this video, the day of the publication of the video. And there's 2 separate allotments giving some people in different time zones a shot at this thing. There's a 9 a.m. Eastern time drop, which already went by because this video is being published after that drop, if everything goes to plan. And then the 8 p.m. drop, which if you're watching this the day of the video, you'll probably still be able to get in on that 8 p.m. drop. The price is $120. And just like the Krampus, they are limiting it to just 2 per person per drop. So you could potentially order 2 at 9 a.m. and then order 2 more at 8 p.m. if you're, Mr. Moneybags. And a quick note on the pose right now. It was not that difficult to get it into this pose. It's difficult in that you need like 3 hands. You need like an extra set of hands to kind of like work with all of the parts. You have a guy on a horse, you're posing the horse and the guy moves, and pose the guy, the horse moves. And like, that's just the nature of something like this. But actually balancing it, getting the figure on there right, and kind of getting everything, situated was not that difficult. I do wish the joints were maybe just a tad tighter for a pose like this. So I don't think I would necessarily keep it in a pose like this for long term because, just general temperatures of rooms, like things kind of heat up and cool down a little bit, and that can flex joints. And it's just like a lot of weight on this. It is resting on the tail, right? So there's 2 feet in the tail, but it's just a lot of weight on those 3 points. So I don't think I would keep it long term in this, but for photographs, take it outside and take a picture of it like this. It's totally doable and not that difficult. But really, this is like, oh my God, they went and did it. The Headless Horseman riding his horse with his jack-o'-lantern, flaming head. I mean, you have the meaty little like neck thing. And even though this is a lot of reused parts, of course, like it's pretty much the same horse we've had before, just a kind of a mashup of the 2 horses, and then pretty much a Valak figure. But we have the new collar, we have the new head sculpts, we have the flames for the back of the head, and a couple other little bits and pieces on this. It's just it's reuse, but it's also just absolutely brilliant, and the execution is incredible. Also the cape. This is one of their premium type capes. This is designed by C. Jessam, one of the best cloth good designers, prototyped by him, and then the factory makes them. This is a 2-sided wired cloth cape that's tailored beautifully. And regarding the price, there is a premium on the price, right? Like, so this is typically something you'd see, like, let's say Arethyr Aethon 2-pack was $90, Alithia Phobos 2-pack was $90. This is $120, so there is $30 extra mixed in there. But I think the fact that this is an in-stock release, this is more like a retail priced product. So if you were to imagine how much that 2-pack would be retail, take that 90 bucks, it's probably about 120 bucks. So the price makes a lot of sense to me considering it is an in-stock sale ready to ship now. And just a quick shout out here, if you're wondering, the rotating stand, that's a dial piece on top of just a typical rotating stand. And that dial piece was constructed by Noah Pratt. Anything's posable. You can check him out on Instagram. He was making more of these. I'm not sure if he's got them in stock yet or what. Maybe he's making them for Legions Con. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, wow. I don't even want to take it out of this pose, but we do need to review this figure, so let's do this. And while it is on the base, just one quick sort of zoom in of the pose because it's so zoomed out due to the trying to fit it in the frame. I thought I would just get one kind of close-up look at it. You can see how it's standing there and just look around at this figure. Look at the red eyes. Beautiful stuff. We will do more of a close-up after, but I did want to show that translucent, it catches the light beautifully there. The translucent flames. This hand has a ball peg. I'll show that after. But these head sculpts are fantastic. And then he's got the meaty insert that pops in there to make it look like his head was severed. Little chain and some pieces on the cape. And the new collar piece. Beautiful stuff. And yeah, there it is. And I pretty much did the packaging already with the unboxing, but two quick things. One, you can really see the insert. So, you know, behind the figure, there's some artwork, and this is just a beautiful landscape image by Nate Barch with the river and the bridge, and nice little touch with the, you know, the pumpkin on the ground there, which is really connected to the story where, you know, in the story, they think he's throwing his actual head, and then it turns out in the end that all they find on the ground next to Ichabod Crane is the remains of a pumpkin, of a jack-o'-lantern. So that's a nice little story-wise touch to this one. And then the other thing I wanted to mention from the packaging that I kind of overlooked in the opening is this awesome Figura Obscura logo that I think, so after the fact, after I opened it, Four Horsemen, Jeremy at Four Horsemen, the marketing manager who set this whole thing up, he told me that originally they were planning to have the Headless Horseman last year, so it would have been October of 2021, and the timing just didn't work out. They didn't have it ready. So, you know, as they were planning it out, they decided to bump the Krampus figure ahead and release that. And I'm presuming that, this is my interpretation, I'm thinking that probably because this has a pumpkin head on it, that's the reason why I didn't make it onto the Krampus figure. So I wonder if this is the logo going forward, if this will be like on all of the products. And, you know, I kind of think that they really wanted to launch with the Headless Horseman as kind of like the cornerstone figure of the line of Figura Obscura. So we have Krampus, we have the Headless Horseman. What do you think is coming next? Like, what do you think the next one will be? Easter Bunny? Probably not Easter Bunny, I'm just joking. But, you know, what do you think will be next? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, here we go. Close-up of the pumpkin head, the main pumpkin head. The other one is the flaming head, and then we have this sort of like primary one. But it has very realistic pumpkin-y features. Like, if you've ever carved a pumpkin and like the inside meaty part, it looks like that. It's like the second you open it, it starts slightly rotting a little bit. Like they captured that, I think. You know, and the stem looks great. Very cool. This is just an awesome head sculpt. And then we have the new neck piece over here, which I'll pop everything apart and kind of show you what everything looks like separated. But this like scarf into this collar and then into the bigger collar that's supposed to be sort of like, imagine that's part of the cape. Like that's all one new collar piece that pegs in just like all the other collar pieces peg in. And of course we have the cape. Very nice. It's got these two pieces here, and it doesn't peg in. It doesn't have holes for shoulder pauldron or anything like that. It just kind of has a chain and rests there. And it does have, along this edge, it has a wire, and then along this, all the other edges, it has a wire as well. I'll show that off during the accessories. And then the rest of the figure has a lot of the same parts as Valak, which just came out. So a lot of people are getting Valak in hand for the first time. So you're getting, you know, if you have Valak, you have a very good sense of like what this figure is. So you have like black leather armor, black cloth-esque arms, leather gauntlets, you know, leather skirt piece, and then the cloth piece underneath here, and the cloth pants, and then the armor. This is a very dark silver color, and the leather boots in black. Really nice. I'm so pumped for these new bodies, and it just makes so much sense to use it on this figure. And then let's get in here for a look at the horse. Okay, so the horse has Aethon's face, Aethon's like head without the decoration over the top of it, and it's got the standard horse neck, standard horse body, standard horse upper legs, and then it has Aethon's lower legs. It has Balius's, I believe this is the same as Balius, the mane here, but it also has a swap out part, so it has Aethon's swap out hair too, and it's got a little bit of reddish brown tones all throughout the hair, and then you have some of the same reddish browns down here, and you got red hooves and red eyes. I think it's Balius's saddle, Balius's neck piece, and then you have the tail here, which I think Balius and Aethon both have the same tail. And I'll get them next to him during the comparisons so you can see. So yeah, so just this nice evil looking horse with a few little red accents. Otherwise, a pretty normal looking, black horse. And here's a look at the overall silhouette of the figure, with the new cape and the new collar and this new head sculpt. And for a lot of people, I think, in general, it's a new figure. I mean, especially there's probably a lot of people who have never bought a Mythic Legions figure who are going to buy this because of the specificity of the literary history of the character. But overall, look at the figure. Let's take a look at him next to some other figures. And of course, we have to start with Krampus on the left here, the other Figura Obscura character, which there's another version, the red version's coming out in a couple months. And then we have Bardrick on the right, which you can see shares quite a few parts. I mean, pretty much the entire lower half of the figure is the same as Bardrick. Next up, a couple smaller Mythic Legions figures. On the left, we have a Kit Bash dwarf with the Kylab kit on there. And on the right, we have a goblin with a custom head sculpt from Wolf King Customs, painted by Curtis Ackerman. Next up, on the left, fitting in with the horror theme, we have the Mezco Freddy Krueger, and on the right, we have the Mezco Ichabod Crane. Just kidding, that's actually just the Joker Gaslight figure with the Superman head sculpt, the Chris Reeve head sculpt and hands. But I thought it might make a fun little thing to have like a Victorian guy, like an Ichabod Crane. Here's the Dwarf and the Warrior from Storm Collectibles Golden Axe. Here on the left, we have the movie realization Bandai Mandalorian Samurai. And then on the right, we have the Super 7 Ultimates Conan the Barbarian Thulsa Doom in serpent form. And then here's the Mafex Superman from Dark Knight Returns and the Mattel Masterverse exclusive Skeletor from the San Diego Comic-Con pack. And as far as the horse is concerned, for comparisons, I don't have a ton of mounts, but I got a couple things. And here's the Golden Axe Dragon. This is the one that came with Tyrus Flare. Here's the Black Series Dewback next to the horse. Here he is next to Aethon. And finally, here he is next to Balius, and I do not yet have Phobos, so I can't do that comparison yet. And a look at the accessories, and just so you know, he does come with two vertically hinged gripping hands already on the figure. We have a pair of gesturing hands that do come with horizontal hinges. And then we have two more hands. One is a left gripping hand with horizontal hinge, and the other one is this brilliant head holding hand. So this one can peg the pumpkin on and gives a nice secure fit for when you're trying to have him hold that pumpkin up in the air. So that's a kind of a brilliant move right there. And this one also has a horizontal hinge. Possibly the most fun part of this entire figure is the severed neck piece that just pegs right into the neck hole like that to make it look like he's had his head removed. He does have a pretty standard Mythic Legions sword. He's got the extra mane so that you can have the more action-based hair flowing in the wind look for the horse. And then we have the alternate head sculpt, the flaming jack-o'-lantern, which has a peg hole in the back. And then you can take the flames here, translucent flames, and then you can plug it in and get that full effect going. It's a beautiful piece right here. And then finally, we have the cape here that you can get a sense of how big this thing is next to the figure itself. So it's got a lot of surface area, so you can kind of get it into all different folds and dramatic shapes. And then nice and close here for the details on the cape, you have a chain and these button type fasteners. You can see they're sort of clamped in there, nicely stitched, and you have a wire pretty much on every edge of it, including around the collar for posing. It's not one of the stronger wires. I do think it would benefit from a little bit of a stronger wire. I mean, it's going to hold a pose, but it's not as stiff as some other capes I've seen out there. But there are some downsides to having a stiffer wire, and one of them is that I never feel like I can quite get it back to straight, but with the softer wire, I always feel like I can get it nice and smooth looking again. And then actually putting the cape on the figure, you really just kind of wrap it around here, and then you slide the collar piece over it, and it's as simple as that. And the wire around the collar of the cape lets you kind of pose it into this position here. Another option would be to have the scarf underneath the chain a little bit there, but I think I prefer the chain under the scarf. Next up, let's do some swaps and see how the Headless Horseman figure kind of mixes and matches with some other Legions parts, and probably because of Valak and all the similarities, this feels very vampiric, especially that collar. Like that collar and scarf, the purple, the coloring of it all, definitely screams vampire to me. So I put the Lord Dragool head on there, and then I put Sir Gerard's pauldrons because they match the leg armor really well. So I think this is a pretty cool look to start us off. And pretty much the same setup. I just swapped the Skeleton Legion builder head on there. I thought that looked pretty cool as well. Here's how it looks with a human head. We got Magnus's head on there, giving him a lordly vibe. I've seen some people take the Sir Gerard skeleton head and put it on Valak, so I thought this would be a cool look. The only issue here is that there's like a gray color underneath that kind of breaks that perception that he's wearing that black cloth throughout, but overall it's a pretty cool look. And just so you can see, here's how it looks with the collar. It makes his head kind of permanently looking up though because of the positioning of that scarf underneath there. I definitely have a thing for putting the bear arms with these new leather torsos. I think it's a pretty cool look. And here we have Purplor, mostly just because of the purple theme there to kind of mix with it, but pretty cool look. Next, to look at some of the Headless Horseman parts on other figures, and I immediately thought Sir Gerard when I saw this red and black cape. So if you didn't get that custom set from Harker, this is a great option for Sir Gerard. And then back to that Dragool head, but we have the collar from the Headless Horseman on Baron Voligar 1. Finally, in case you needed even more reasons to love Bardrick, one of the best figures in the wave, in the line, really, honestly, here's the Lord of the Harvest Court with a jack-o'-lantern head that kind of transforms this head. It goes from feeling dark, creepy, and scary to kind of feeling almost like a good guy. Finally, for articulation, we have a ball joint at the head. So you can turn the head and cock it side to side. We have a hinge and swivel at the shoulder, so he can swing his arms all the way around. They can come up to a T pose. And then we have a single jointed elbow, comes just up to 90 degrees. There's a twist at the gauntlet, and then there's a twist at the wrist. And it comes with a couple different sets of hands, but this pair has the vertical hinges, and then there is one left hand that has the horizontal hinge as well. At the waist, there is a ball joint, so you can rock him back and forth, you can twist him, you can hunch him forward and back. Another hinge and swivel at the hips, and he can kick forward, back. He can go out into the splits. There is a twist at the top of the thigh. Single jointed knee comes up to about 90 degrees, and then there's a twist below the knee. There is a twist above the ankle. There is a hinge at the ankle, and then there's an angled rocker for wide stances. Articulation on the horse, there's a ball joint sort of behind the face, so you get a lot of range of motion in that area there. And then there's another one at the base of the neck. So he can look down pretty far and then back up again into sort of a regular stance, but a lot of range side to side with that neck piece. The tail pegs in with a hinge piece right here, so it twists and hinges up and down. The front legs are attached at a hinge, and they can swing back, and then they can swing quite a ways forward, and they also twist at that top point there. They twist at the knee, and the knee can bend about 90 degrees, and it can go forward a little bit as well, and also a twist at the knee. All 4 feet are also on this same kind of hinge where you can hinge it back and forth, and then it'll twist as well. Back legs are a little bit different. They are on a ball joint, so you can get a different kind of range of motion going there, and he can have like his legs kick out to the side a little bit, and they can swing back, forward, and then at that next point, there's a straight up hinge can come forward and back, and then you can twist that a little bit. Another hinge at the sort of back knee area with a twist, and same thing with the back feet. They are on a hinge and they can spin as well. And just a couple other little details about the positioning of the saddle. These are a soft piece, so you can really move them around however you want. And then there's also these little straps here, these loops where you can hang weapons and things from. The bedroll on the back is also removable, so you can pop that off or pop it back in. And then here's a look at the horse's head sculpt without those harness pieces. And then let me just show you how I remove the saddle. Like if you want to remove the saddle, you totally can. But I like to pop the back leg off, and then that kind of gives me enough space to get it through there. And then you can pop the leg back on, and there you have a fully wild horse, I guess, right? So take a look at the horse without any of the stuff on it right there. So overall, I'm just thrilled at how awesome this figure came out. This is just a phenomenal set. What a wonderful surprise at the start of October. Four Horsmen Studios just killing it. And super big thanks for giving me a first look. I am so honored to have the opportunity. And until next time, may the force be with you.